Question. You exist as a human being. How? What for? You were born into this world knowing nothing of its nature, knowing nothing of your own nature, knowing nothing about what exists, what can exist, what is possible for you to do, what you ought to do. But you were born into this world alive, life by its nature granting you energy to pour forth, with no obvious answer what to pour your energy into. You must discover an answer for yourself. To answer, you can begin by observing both yourself and others. You can learn what human beings before you have done and why they did it. You can learn what human beings did not do, but could have done, and perhaps ought to have done. But so long as you are alive, you will face a question you must continuously answer for yourself. What will you do, and why? What for? In 1957, Ayn Rand completed the masterwork of her life, Atlas Shrugged. Life, she writes in Atlas, has two great attributes, motion and purpose. The motion, the activities of her own life, could be considered as one single course of action, unified as they were by that single-tracked purpose she had pursued since childhood. That purpose? To find out and project what a human being could be and ought to be. When Ayn Rand identified her purpose, the immediate world around her was descending into the horrors of World War I. But she looked beyond the culture around her, beyond what the specific people of her era were and did. She concerned herself with the nature of human beings as such, with what is possible to an individual human being in any era. She began, in essence, with a question, a child's question, but one highly abstract and grand in its scope. What is it that a human being ought to be and do? If you want to know what it means to live as a truly conceptual being, here's a clue. Ask your own wide-scale question, a question that encompasses everything, and form your life into the unique pursuit of its answer. To answer her own question, Ayn Rand used as her conceptual tool a figure to integrate her answer into an indivisible living sum, the figure of the ideal man. She wanted to know the nature of this ideal man, his identity. In other words, she asked and answered, who is John Galt? But what is the answer? Who is the ideal man? To name, in one word, Ayn Rand's concept of the ideal, he is the creator. He is the man who faces life as if he were the first man born, with his chosen credo, let's find out, let's make it. He is the one who knows that creative work is, in John Galt's words, the process by which man's consciousness controls his existence, a constant process of acquiring knowledge and shaping matter to fit one's purpose, of translating an idea into physical form, of remaking the earth in the image of one's values. It is your creative power that matters above all else. As Ayn Rand writes in Atlas, there's nothing of any importance in life except how well you do your work. Nothing, only that. Whatever else you are will come from that. It's the only measure of human value. In Atlas, Dagny first discovers what it means to be a creator from the example of her ancestor, Nat Taggart, and his achievement, his creation of a complex system of transportation, the railroad. She makes a choice to master his achievement and run the railroad herself someday, feeling an arrogant pleasure at the way the track cut through the woods. It did not belong in the midst of ancient trees among green branches that hung down to meet the green brush and the lonely spears of wildflowers, but there it was. Her feeling for the railroad is a worship of the skill that had gone to make it, of the ingenuity of someone's clean, reasoning mind. Worship with a secret smile that said she would know how to make it better someday.